Alright, quick video here, and I haven't been doing any commentary or giving any input recently. We've just been focusing on the gameplay, but I wanted to quickly go over sniper builds. I'll probably do this for every class I'm comfortable with, and the purpose of the classes of the builds I'll discuss are mostly soloing Absolute, though I'll touch over a couple of extra things, a couple of fun ones, and a couple of more event-oriented ones, such as speedrunning and so on. So, let's kick it off. First build, last shoes, heavy bolt, and knife, pretty straightforward. I'll go over the last shoes perks really quick, and the variant we use. In terms of perks, this is what I'm running. We really want the armor generation. Armor, most important thing in the game, so long as you can generate it consistently. And just on a regular basis. This is basically an extra source of armor on a 15-second cooldown. It allows you to just basically grab an armor bar on someone that's far away that you're one-shotting. Really useful and kind of important to try and track the cooldown of, so that you know how you want to finish someone off and still get armor. In terms of versions, real quick over those. I used to run the damage version for the longest time. It allows you to reach some breakpoints that you don't reach otherwise, but there's a couple of caveats. I've switched over, thanks to someone I met not that long ago, to the rate of fire for a very simple reason. The comfort of use is considerably higher. Easier to get your contested HP back, easier to land your hipfire headshots in melee, easier to burst bosses down, as you also have higher DPS over burst frames, so any target that's under all specs, for instance, you will end up doing superior damage to by using this. Heavily recommend overall, even though it's a bit less ammo efficient. And if you're running solo, you will feel the difference mostly with melee Tyranid Majoris, for instance, where you will not put them into execute with a single cloak headshot. You'll need an extra headshot after that. Whereas you would put them in exec with the damage round. However, it does actually serve a nice little purpose, and I'll touch over it in just a bit. Heavy bolt pistol, ammo variant. Ammo variant mostly because we want as much secondary ammo as possible as the conditions how much primary ammo we have. One of the important things about sniper is being able to constantly regenerate ammunition through your prestige perk. So the more ammo you have on your secondary, the better you're able to do that. Straightforward. There's a couple of builds where you can run the bolt pistol for ease of use, but for all intent and purposes, heavy bolt pistol is just better at everything it does. Now on to the knife. I mean, the big debate is really whether you go fencing or whether you go block. I've never really used a balanced knife. I'm not really interested in using the balanced knife. It's not something I'd consider. Fencing is actually not bad on sniper, just because you can get a guaranteed hipfire headshot on the last fuse after a gunstrike, and if you run the perk that gives you extra damage after a gunstrike, you will one-shot off of that. Any Majoris in the game gets one comboed by that, so it's pretty neat. The problem is it means you're basically eating ammo to deal with melee as well, and given you have to pay attention to your ammo, especially now with the changes to Absolute, the size of the waves you're going to face on bosses and all that, it's not that great. Also, the other thing is, gun strikes aren't super safe to take if you do not have stagger resistance, and sniper has, like existent stagger resistance that isn't very good. That's the way I'd phrase it, because it's conditioned on cloak usage. So overall, fencing, higher melee damage, you save ammo, you cleave really well, you do everything better if you're comfortable with block weapons. One of the things you can also do on block weapons when required is to get your 2 block stacks, land a light into heavy combo, and off of the stagger charge a hipfire headshot. That will handle pretty much anything as well, so if you did want, or if you had ammo to spare rather, you can still get that going. As for the build I would run with this, I would run the following build. You'll see there's fairly fairly low variation when it comes to sniper builds. I think it's pretty much sorted what the best in slots are. There's a consideration for the block break, I will say, if you're running solo. I haven't done it. I do prefer the 20% melee damage increase against Majoris. Again, want to spare ammo, play a lot of melee, and 20% is a very significant amount. Again, extra melee damage, mostly used after cloak usage. I'm giving you try and cycle cloak as much as you can. The uptime on this is pretty high. Obviously, so I'm not a big fan of this kind of perk, because you basically cannot switch weapons during a run, or at least you're losing a perk if you do. But obviously, if you're running last shoes, run the last shoes perk. That kind of makes sense. Squad renewal. So the big debate here would be renewal versus squad renewal. The main answer is the next perk, Purification, that's coming along. We want cooldown reduction on the cloak. So yeah, squad renewal gives you cooldown back on any headshot kill. 100% you take it. Also helps your team if you're not running solo. Just a really solid perk all around. Best in the column here, and there's no real debate, I'd say. One quick thing about renewal and squad renewal. If you one-shot an enemy on the cloak headshot, said headshot kill does not proc the cooldown reduction. And that's something you'll notice a lot with the damage version of the last fusee. If you cloak, headshot a ranged Majoris, their head will explode, killing them outright. You don't even go to execute state, but you're not getting any cooldown back. Whereas, if you do the same with the fire rate version, they go into execute. You can instantly swap back to your secondary weapon, shoot them up in the head, like 3 bullets roughly does it from properly, head blows up, you get your cooldown back, and you get ammo back. It's like best of both worlds. So I urge you guys to keep that in mind in your choice. Squad renewal does not proc off of the headshot kill from cloak itself. Now, onto this, Purification must run in pretty much every build, honestly. Like, why would you not run Purification? The only time you don't run Purification is if you're doing challenge runs that require no healing, basically. It's just too good a perk, Sniper's main problem is how squishy you are. You have, I believe, the lowest HP pool. You've only got 2 armor bars. You have not very good stagger resistance overall, and I'll touch over it in a second. Purification, it does so much for Sniper. Now, there is some stuff in this column to be kept in mind, but I'll go over it in a second as well. This must have, again, if you're running a Sniper, last shoes or bolt sniper for that matter, just because the extra damage really makes it different from cloak, and it's what allows you to hit the one-shot breakpoints that you need from cloak. Persistence, incredibly good perk. When Camo Cloak deactivates, take 20% less health damage and do not lose control upon taking heavy hits. So this is great. The problem is it's only great so long as you cycle ammo. Cloak. A lot of classes have the get the stagger resistance after a perfect block or perfect dodge, something like that. Unfortunately, Sniper doesn't get that. You get persistence instead, which is really good, but you can, if ever you had to use a large amount of cloak, you can end up stuck in melee with no stagger resistance for a while, and that's when things get dicey. It's pretty much the only time you can really die as a sniper. So persistence helps, but it's not the end all be all. For this one, I mean, the cheat death is nice if you're not very comfortable at this point. When I started running solo Absolute, I used to run the cheat death. Now, if you're honestly even just like slightly comfortable on the character, hop onto this. This is way better. Equipment charges will do an amazing job for you in so many contexts. I'll give a simple example. Inferno is one of the hardest maps to solo a sniper because of generator phases. Sniper's AoE clear isn't that great, and the generator phases can be quite dicey if you've got a big wave. Having Pattern of Excellence guarantees you'll get equipment regen for those phases, right? Shock grenades, for instance, are invaluable in that sequence. Melters, everyone knows how useful melters are. Melters are like for every situation. Crack grenades also do incredibly well, especially in situations where you're stuck in melee with no cloak. Crack grenade can really save your day. So yeah, Pattern of Excellence, best thing you can get. Onto the prestige perks real quick, even though I don't change those in any case regardless of the build. Emperor's Grace, I used to think Emperor's Grace is like useless. The main reason being, my understanding was if I'm in cloak I'm not taking damage, or I'm taking damage when I'm not in cloak. Not exactly true. If you're stuck in melee against Minoris, for instance, and you're looking to cloak to proc purification and get some HP back, you're gonna take some Minoris damage as they're still jumping and you're activating camo cloak. Emperor's Grace prevents that. Emperor's Grace will make you not take damage. It's iframes on demand. You can basically stand in front of a neurotrope laser, and as the laser starts going up, you just camo cloak, shoot them in the head. You're not going to take any damage. You can tank anything in the game with that. Hellbrute AoE, Hellbrute Slap, Termi Rockets, whatever it be. Emperor's Grace is an amazing perk. Versatile Precision, must have for sniper. You run out of ammo really quick, especially on the last fuse, especially in the fire rate version. So Versatile Precision, super important to get used to cycling it on a regular basis. Versatility, it's a perk I really like. Extra damage on your secondary weapon after switching weapons. It's just good. 20% extra damage, like that's about all I've got to say to that. As a last perk, I run Conviction, extra tankiness basically. When your armor is fully depleted, 25% less health damage for 15 seconds. Super strong, and because you don't have that much armor, you'll be cycling that. You'll have a high uptime on that perk anyway. Your armor's going to drop. You'll regenerate either by getting Majoris into execute and shooting it in the head, or just grabbing the execute itself, or by proccing your block stacks. That's how you'll generate armor on sniper. Gunstrokes of Minoris as well, and Conviction does an amazing job at keeping you alive. Very easy to underrate, but honestly it's a great perk. So that's it for the last fuse. If we go over it quickly, now Bolt Sniper is literally going to be the same build. You just go Iron Grip instead. Same reasons, same things. Bolt Sniper is just a bit inferior. In terms of variants, I'm not as comfortable with the Bolt Sniper, and I'm not sure my opinion is as relevant as it was on the last fuse. I've experimented once with the fire rate. I need to try it again. I didn't like it too much, if I'm being honest, but I think it could be good. So far, the most success I've had was with the flat damage version. For the Bolt Snipe, I think it's decent. It's like A tier. It's a solid gun. It's just last fuse is better, right? But I think the argument is probably between rate of fire and between damage one, and I have a preference for the damage one at this point in time. Quick thing I want to touch on here. Speedrunning build for either Last Fuse or Bolt Snipers. Both can actually work pretty well. If you're running in a speedrun squad that is good, that is actually like good and efficient at clearing things, then you can go for double renewal. Double renewal is stupidly high risk because again, no purification, right? So you really have to just play off your iframes and the fact that cloak drops aggro, but you have no good recovery other than landing headshots. That's basically one of Sniper's issues. Still, renewal does, like double renewal build does incredible in terms of damage output because of how quickly it cycles cloak. It's really not to be underestimated. One of the things you can do if you're running renewal is also, as a secondary weapon, run the bolt pistol and make sure you run the accuracy variant. You get a lot of ammo, the gun has next to no recoil, and you can basically chain headshot an entire wave, with every headshot giving you 25% cooldown back. So you just cycle in and out of cloak, headshotting the wave constantly. This is a mechanic that's like super important to Sniper that we can really see on another build, which is going to be a carbine, one that I'm going to touch right now. So, last build, and again, very similar as you're going to see. So here, Stalker Bolt, we go with the Stalker Bolt perk, and of course, instead of targeted shot, we'll go with this. Very same thing, honestly. Like the only thing that really should change is this perk. This is actually pretty neat. You've got two block stacks, just cloak, charge a hit, and you will one-shot anything that is not a Terminus, and you will take a sizable chunk off a Terminus. I'm talking 30+% max HP off a Terminus if you charge it long enough. If you've got block stacks, it's extra. And I'm talking about absolute health bars as well, right? Great perk. Only downside is it usually relies on you charging the knife attack, and charging the knife attack means you're consuming a lot of cloak cooldown, and that is usually problematic and something you want to be very wary of as a sniper. I end up using it very rarely in runs, but it has situational uses in which it's incredibly strong, so it's good to keep in mind. Also, one of the mechanics of sniper being cloak with an instant knife cancel. It's a nice 150 bonus, 150% bonus on the melee attack for that specific trading pattern, so it's pretty good. So that's a Stalker Bolt Rifle. Gameplay-wise, it's very similar to a Bolt Sniper. You just do a bit less damage and have more ammo and better fire rate. That's basically it. Now onto the Carbine, because the Carbine is an incredible gun. Carbine, real quick, again, you want the armor generation and you want the spread reduction. This perk, Hone Precision, is incredible. That way you just don't need to aim, you run up to people, hip fire them in the head, they die. Simple as that, that's how it goes. Perks, you would run exactly the same, except you would run the Carbine perk here, and this is one of Sniper's strongest build. The gameplay is ridiculously simple. Run up to people, shoot them in the head, grab the execute or finish them off with headshots, rinse, repeat, reload whilst you're rolling around, cloak when required for HP or for aggro drop. Any other thing you can do on this build is efficient readiness. It's suboptimal, I'll say it right now, again only for no heal challenge runs does it really make sense, but efficient readiness pairs incredibly well with the Carbine, because you can just dump 46 bullets in someone's head, and if it wasn't enough, you can cloak and dump another 46 more instantly. And it consumes next to no cloak cooldown because you cloak shoot instantly, so you cancel out of it. Great synergy, the move speed's nice, like it's a nice little bonus. Yeah. This efficient readiness, not to be slept on, it's an incredibly good perk. The problem is purification exists, and Sniper needs purification to actually be viable, or at least as strong as it is, and to be strong flat out. I think purification is necessary, but efficient readiness really good, especially on a Carbine build. I realize I haven't shown the Bolt Sniper perks, but you'll see they do just the very same. Armor, you want the recoupment. Quick touch on the weapons. Overall, I mean, last use, best weapon for Sniper, Bolt Snipe, suitable alternative if you fancy Bolt Sniper better, for the Sniper game style. Stalker Bolt, really good. And on Stalker Bolt you can run both the ammo variant or the damage variant. They're just very good. I really recommend Stalker Bolt. Good weapon overall, good ammo economy, like solid choice. Instigator, my beloved tragedy. I think you miss still a bit of damage on Instigator. It could probably do with an extra 10-15% headshot damage. I don't know, I love the feel of the weapon, but there's something about its ammo consumption versus damage output that I feel isn't quite right. I can't really pinpoint what the issue is on the weapon, but there is something suboptimal in my eyes on about the Instigator, something you'll also find with Vanguard. So there you go. That is very quickly the builds explained in detail on how you would run your Sniper for solo absolute mostly. And yeah, again, speed running, you can go with a double renewal. It's something that works really well. It's just riskier. That's basically it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the gameplay, about how things piece themselves together, feel free to let me know in the comments. Have a lovely day.